Oh, this Captain America figure. Usually like the
is that how we're opening up the show?
Yeah,
You talking about a Captain America figure?
Well, okay, I just have to say this.
No,
I don't know. We can cut it. We can cut it.
No, I'm leaving it. Go ahead, Sean.
Because I've had this figure, but I didn't notice this. Like usually it swivels like around the, like there's like a little circle ball, and it swivels. But this just swivels like midway through the bicep, like a cut. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh, I haven't reviewed it yet, so maybe that's why.
Interesting. I didn't know that. I lost my Captain
I'm
America
going
figure.
to give you a shout out when I do the review of that. But anyway, to you guys out there, welcome to episode 2 of Alternate Heads. And Sean had to start out. That's so funny. I'm leaving it in there, though. Anyway, guys, we're sorry we did not record last week.
We did record.
Well, we did record, and Jason made a mistake. So, my camera's just all messed up.
There's a lost episode out there.
There's a lost episode out there where the audio may not be great. Maybe in a couple of episodes, we'll release that one later on down the road. Anyway, but welcome to episode 2 of Alternate Heads. And it kind of worked out for the best that one didn't work out because our subject of the show is pretty much something we were talking about in episode 1. And
we pretty much just ranted about Toys R Us.
But we had a good
like,
time.
maybe,
because
we
went out toy hunting right before we recorded, and it was a good time. But now we know for sure that Toys R Us will be shutting down their stores. It is a very, very sad day. There's a lot, and you brought this up. There's a lot of negativity we can go in, and I'm mad about it. I'm going to admit I'm upset the hell about it. But there are some good things, some good memories, and things that we can talk about. We are going to touch on some of those things, but I did like your idea. Let's try to keep it as positive as we can.
Yeah.
And there may be good news out there, but we don't know what the future's going to hold. But we're just going to.
It's kind of up in the air right now
on something being salvaged from all of this.
They said that they're closing everything, right? So,
and like you said, there might be a late minute buyer or something, maybe.
That's the good news. So I have heard that the 200 of Toys R Us's most profitable stores, they're trying to sell those to somebody and then keep them going.
I'd love if 1 or 2 of those would be the ones in our area, which I'm already guessing.
Well, that one
75
could be it, because that was one of the ones that weren't closed at first.
75 in Park Lane, because it's a rather new store too in that area. I mean, because
we
used to have one that
Fingers crossed.
It's now a liquor store in that area. Which funny that I went there when I was a kid. Now as an adult, I go to the same one. Anyway, it's a Specs, so yeah. But yeah, I do hope that one of them is in our area, because I think we would be a contender for it. If not for our sales alone, just you and I. So
that's like maybe 2 stores per state if you did it evenly.
Oof. I mean, Texas is big.
No,
maybe
4 stores. Oh wow,
Texas is big,
math.
so maybe we would get more.
Terrible
at least
math.
one in Austin or San Antonio. So yeah, okay.
Yeah, so there's a chance.
It'd be better than nothing.
Still a chance out there.
It could be. I mean, and we went through this already, where they did go through a period where they shut down a bunch of Toys R Us's, and they came back from it. Maybe they'll learn from the mistakes of the past, get more into that collector market, which I'm going to talk about the collector market because I'm anxious to do some hunting after we do this show. Damn this show, I want to go hunting right now. But anyway, so there's good news on the horizon.
So let's talk about our memories.
So Toys R Us memories. I mean, you and I, we grew up in that time when, well, I mean, before we could drive, we were at the mercy of, parents and bus systems and everything to get us to the mecca of toys out there.
I think
go ahead.
My most vivid Toys R Us memory, I was actually on the news for. So
what?
It was like they do Force Friday or whatever.
Oh yeah.
But this was when they were doing it for it was like the midnight release for Revenge of the Sith. So it was like the 3rd prequel. And The line was going. The line was to the door, wrapped around, curved around the store. They had news cameras there. We're pulling up. It's like 5 minutes to midnight. And I'm like, I was like, I'm not going to be... I really wanted Force Unleashed Anakin.
Oh, those kind of statuish kind of
figures. Yeah. Those were really cool figures. And I really wanted that. And I was like, just let me out. And they opened the doors, and there's like cameras in there filming everything. And then everybody like goes in, and then I just kind of like ran in through, and then kind of jumped over 3 rows of people, grabbed the figure, and I remember turning to a camera and just being like, like, it was...
Somebody, one of our local stations here?
No, this was in St. Louis.
Okay.
Yeah. But it was... I mean, it was such a thrill and a rush, and it was like... such... I mean, like, that was toys at, like, a rock star moment, you know? Like, and those Star Wars releases... I mean, Marvel Legends would be the same thing. Man, if they did, like... If they were like, hey, guess what? The next Marvel Legends wave, that comes out 2 p.m. on Friday... whatever, you know, people would be taking work off, and it would be totally like that. But yeah, it's just one of those rare occasions where toys were really in the spotlight, and you know, Toys R Us definitely was too. And I think when I think of Toys R Us, I always think of that moment, just because it was just like packed for a good reason. It wasn't packed like it has been now, like with just, you know, it's like, hey, we're closing, come pick our dying bones.
And now people are like, I'm Toys R Us kids. It's like we never stop. Honestly, for me, because I was always at the mercy of the bus system and getting around everything. And it was one thing to go to like a Walmart or a Target or Kmart when we actually had them in the Dallas area. But if I could make it to Toys R Us, that was like always the place where I knew I would find the thing that I was hunting for. There was always that. I remember back when the Spawn line was probably like in wave 3 or 4 or whatever. I actually worked for Toys R Us for a holiday season.
What? No way.
Yeah.
I didn't know this. That's cool.
I worked during the holiday season, and the big toy at that time was Power Rangers. So I like work. I'm actually unsure of how I worked for Toys R Us at 16 in Texas.
Yeah.
I thought I had to be a certain age to work for Toys R Us, but I did work for them. And Power Rangers was the hot thing then. And I wasn't into it until I started working there. And
wow, a time that you weren't into Power Rangers.
Somebody returned a Power Rangers toy and being huge into Transformers, which was not big at the time. I think that was around kind of like the Beast Wars kind of...
This was that first wave of Power Rangers figures?
Yes, the first wave that people were going crazy for.
Yeah.
Well, somebody returned one of the Megazords, and I was like... Because it was going in the return bin. And I was like, this is actually kind of cool.
The big Megazord.
Yeah, the big Megazord. Actually, it was the second season of Power Rangers that I worked for Toys R Us.
Okay.
And that's where I bought my first Megazord. So
wow.
That is... I didn't have the original one. I had the secondary, the Thunder Megazord. But I bought that one while I worked for Toys R Us, and it was pretty cool. And yeah, that's where I really started getting into the Power Rangers line, and then finding out about Super Sentai and everything. But also during that time was when they were re-releasing all the Star Wars Kenner line with the Power of the Force line. The figures that were not so great, but it was nostalgia that you were buying all of them. So that period I worked for them, I honestly think that's what rejuvenated my love of toys.
What was that like working for them? I mean, were you going in the back and you like setting the figures out? Or?
Oh man, we I was that guy that was getting the discount, and I think I got like somewhat of a discount. It wasn't much for employees.
Did you get to put them on the pegs?
Yes, absolutely.
That's
I had
cool.
to stock shelves and help people on the floor. And they wanted me on the floor just because, like, the first week I was there, they saw me. I think I was just a stalker at the time.
Yeah.
But they saw I could interact and talk with people because I love people. I talk to people. But I had knowledge of toys. They were like, oh, you need to be on the floor. because I read Toy Fair magazine and Wizard and everything. I knew stuff that was
Man,
going
you're
on.
bringing up more things that are gone and making me sad.
I know.
Toy Fair magazine and Twisted Toy Fair Theater.
Oh,
that's what you were reading, being like, I gotta go to Toys R Us and get this.
And people would come in and they'd be looking for something. I instantly, I know exactly what you're looking for. And I was always great to collectors because I knew who they were. And I don't think scalping was a real huge thing back then, but it was fun. In that I knew the action figures.
That was pre-eBay. So
yes.
eBay was probably one of the things. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
I don't think. I think eBay
you think
was
eBay
just starting to come around.
You think eBay? I mean, people were selling like I don't know.
Because this was like pre-1997.
I was getting. So. I was just like the way I got toys back then was like, Dear Santa.
Because I couldn't drive at the time, so I was like at the. But Toys R Us was always like the guarantee. Like if I didn't find this at Target or Kmart, everything else was on the way to Toys R Us. You know, I'm going to hit these things that are between me and TRU. So it working for them helped rejuvenate my love of toys, and
that's cool.
Seeing other people's appreciation of them. So
cool.
That is probably one of my fondest memories of it. And besides just, you know, getting to go there and actually buy the stuff, it was just that was always the guarantee. What other memory do you have of TRU?
Okay, so I got a couple, but
Go ahead.
This one is man. I remember it was like I was getting confirmed. So I was like confirmation or whatever. It's like a Catholic holiday or it's like a Catholic sacrament, right? Mm-hmm. And so my godfather was like, I'm going to take you to Toys R Us. You can pick out a toy. And I was like, yes. And, you know, of course, what movie was coming out at that time, you know, but the movie I was never more excited about another movie. I think the last movie I was so excited about was probably Ninja Turtles. But the live-action Spawn movie was in theaters.
Oh.
So I was like, oh, look at all these awesome movie Spawn figures. Yeah. I was already really into Spawn, but I was like, I want this Spawn. It was the Spawn figure that came with a hamburger head, but he also came with 2, like, ammo clips that you could, like, strap to his chest, and then guns. And I still use those ammo clips for figures and photos, like, to this day.
Really?
Yeah. Like, because I remember at the time, I was like, I can get the version that comes with the mast head, but that doesn't come with the ammo clips. And I was like, I'm not about that life. Like, I'm trying to... I mean, like, the bargain on this is better. But there was really some pullback on that from my godfather, because it was like, hey, like, this is a confirmation gift, and, like, I'm buying you, like, a soldier of Satan, like, for that. I don't know. So there was a little kickback on that. But I ended up getting them, and that was like... You know, what's cool about that is, like, you have those figures, and that was at Toys R Us. And so what's awesome is, like, you know, I have some friends where it's like, hey, the new Infinity War Spider-Man is on Amazon. And they're like, oh, no, I'm going to wait till I find it in stores. Because that way, you know, you, like, look at it, and you can pick up that figure and just be like, I remember that day that I got this. You know, not see it in 3 years, and then it just comes flooding back, right? And so that's cool, and I don't know. That's one of those. That's a great memory I have of Toys R Us.
It's funny you should mention that, because I've been going through some things in my collection and looking at it and going, I got that from Toys R Us, and I remember how glad I was to get that from Toys R Us. Just like, what was it? There's a lot of fond memories of stuff that we're just not going to have anymore. I mean, yeah, we got Amazon, we got Walmart and Target, but it's just not going to be the same as the things we found. Okay, another fond memory. Okay. Here recently, I wanted Masterpiece Soundwave, which is up there on the shelf. This is a more recent one that actually didn't involve me. It involved my wife being off one day and deciding to just go into a random Toys R Us to look for something for me. Because I wanted the Soundwave from the TRU pack. And she found it in there. She actually found it before a scalper, which was actually pretty awesome, who was offering to buy it from her as she was trying to walk out the store.
What?
And she brought it to me, And I just remember being real happy that
Took the moral high ground, like, no, we're opening this.
yeah. So yeah, I think that
funny.
made her a little bit happy that she got one over on a scalper.
That's funny.
But other just here's one, because when I was in the military, I was stationed in Corpus Christi for a while, and there's only one Toys R Us down there, and they're a little bit behind. But you know what? I was coming out of boot camp, and when I was stationed there, and they took us out to the town, and for some reason it was a Sunday. They stopped by Toys R Us. This group of like 18 to 17-year-old brand new troops to the U.S. Navy, and they stopped by a Toys R Us for us. And I remember having a little bit of money saved up, so I like bought a bunch of stuff. Like I swear I probably bought like 2 bags of stuff. And everyone was like, dude, you bought a lot of stuff. What, are you still a kid? I'm like, I absolutely am. Like I remember being very proud, and I don't care
Like
what
Toys
you
R
think.
Us kid, actually.
Exactly. I ain't growing up. I'm good. I even sang the song inside the band that we were in.
That's funny.
And it was like the things that they made my barracks room feel a little bit more homey.
Yeah.
To
that's
have
cool.
stuff that I want, just to put up on the shelf, and
That's
that comfort.
The home away from home. And
Exactly.
I have a story similar to that. So when I was in college, the Marvel, I was calling my friends back home, and they're like, dude, the new Marvel Legends wave is hitting. Like, and it was the one with Brown Suit Wolverine. And then,
I know which wave you're talking about.
yeah, I want to say
Toy Biz. Toy Biz.
Yeah. I really wanted that Brown Suit Wolverine. And there was something else in that I wanted. I want to say it was Deadpool too, but I can't remember. The Wolverine was for sure. The one that I was like definitely after. And Punisher was in there. Phoenix. I think Juggernaut.
No, Deadpool wasn't that way.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So I didn't have a car. This Toys R Us is far away. Again, like I had like, I think there was this girl I was dating at the time, and I was like, can we please go to Toys R Us? Like, I'm like a freshman in college. I'm like, please, can we go to Toys R Us? And she's like, yeah, okay, sure. I'll drive you over
Nice.
there. So we get there, and then we get to the Marvel Legends aisle. It was pretty prominent at the time because that was like the 6th. I don't know. It was pretty prominent at the time. And I see basically what people are seeing with this, like the new Infinity War Iron Man at this point, where it's just like shelves. I mean, it's like it was like 6 or 7 pegs, 3 to 4 deep, all with Punisher. And I was like, there's no way that they're shipping solid cases of Punisher.
No.
So like I went to the guy who was working at Toys R Us, and I was like, dude, like, I know the case ratios for this. I know the case ratios for this wave, and it doesn't make sense that like there's just only Punishers out here, and like I think that you have some in the back, or could you look in the back? Like I was just like, I asked nicely right now, but like I was younger then, and I was like, no way. I was like, it's not like now where I can just go to a different store or use. It was like that was my one shot, so I was like, no, this needs to happen. Like, and so I went and I was like, can you look in the back? Like, and the guy, like, he kind of like sized me up a little bit, and he like comes from the back. He goes in the back, he comes out. He's got Phoenix. He's got the variant of Phoenix. He's got the Wolverine. He's got all the other figures from the wave, one of each basically. And I was like, oh my God. So I took the Wolverine. I took a couple other ones. If that Deadpool was there, I definitely took that Deadpool. And then he was like, whoa, you're not going to take the chase? And I was like, that's when another one of those high ground moments, right? Where I was just like, you know what? I was like, I'm not, he's like, he looks at me and he goes, you're never going to see this figure again if you pass this up now.
Wow.
And I was like, it's not about trying to resell it for me. It's just, I just want to buy the figures that I want to open and play with, and those are the ones. And I just remember that he was like such a, I don't know. Sometimes I was trying to explain to some guys the other day. Like, oh yeah, I know that's what I do in my spare time. I love action figure photography. And they were like, how do you make money from it? And I was like, oh no, man, I don't make any money. Like, no.
And that, I mean, there are times, yeah, that you can get the higher priced one or whatever, the more sought after. But honestly, it's the one that makes you happy. So.
Yeah, right? Like, I mean, yeah, sometimes they short pack a figure. You got to buy that one first if you only have a little bit of money because you're not going to see that one again. Like, that's true. But if you don't want that figure, I mean, go ahead and short pack it all day.
So right now, well, we're about...
Well, this brings up something I haven't thought about in so long. And if I was on my phone, I would go check it. But there used to be this comic strip. It was called Short Packed.
No, yes, that's Dave Willis.
Is that still like a thing?
Short Packed isn't a thing. He's moved on to one called Dumbing of Age, but it's all the characters. It's kind of like a reboot of it.
Oh.
But Short Packed was definitely one of my favorites.
I used to love that so much.
Dave Willis is actually one of my favorite people. He curses me out on Twitter.
Really?
And, when I see him at cons,
go.
Oh yeah,
I gotta reread it. That's a really good one.
Yeah, go check out Dave Willis. I believe his hashtag on Instagram or Twitter is damn you Willis.
Oh wow, that's funny.
He's a great toy collector. He recently had twins.
Really?
And he took them to a Toys R Us, and he was like, at least I have photo evidence that my children were once inside of a Toys R Us.
That's cool.
I've got one actually of me and Eddie when he was smaller. I'm holding him with Jeffrey. I have to go find that picture, and I'm going to cut it into this episode because that was a fond memory as well. He was a little bit frightened of Jeffrey, but I think it worked out. Plus, I look real slim in the picture. I think I was like 20 pounds lighter, so I'm like, yeah, go find that one and post it. Yeah. So
awesome.
And I have my children now that I take to Toys R Us.
Yeah.
And like my daughter loves to go over and get inside the Power Wheels. Even though we're not buying a Power Wheels, I want her on a bike to get her legs stronger or whatever. No Power Wheels, but that is that joy. Now I can say I took my kids. Why are you customizing my figures over there?
I'll put him back.
He's messing with my Deadpool. But especially for guys like me that grew up, now I have my own children to take, and they have the same enjoyment. Not as much sometimes because Dad's looking for something, but we'll go check out stuff for you guys too. Like my son, he actually said he had fun on that toy hunt that you and I did. So,
oh really?
Yes, he did.
That's awesome.
Well,
that was a good time. We went to a lot of stores.
He had his own money, so that was why he was happy about it.
Yeah.
But so we are in the twilight. I mean, we're crossing our fingers. 200 stores stay open. I'll take it. But if the inevitable does happen, and we no longer have our Toys R Us's, what do we do? So,
actually, someone brought up on Reddit our action figures this morning. That's when I was reading it. That the owner of Walgreens is a collector.
I didn't know that.
So yeah,
I saw that thread too, and I was like, really?
And they have been getting a lot of exclusives.
This is true.
I mean, possibility maybe they pick up where Toys R Us left off. They have so many different locations.
But they have a very small area as far as toys to pick from. I mean, I guess it's not about the size. If they have what you want.
They got the good stuff. I mean, they carry Elite WWE Elite figures. They carry those.
They've carried some of the Power Rangers.
6-inch Power Rangers.
Yeah. I mean,
they carry Black Series. I mean, maybe they just start carrying more.
I mean, we've lost KB Toy Store. I mean, if we do lose Toys R Us,
maybe they start carrying NECA. Maybe they start carrying Figure Arts at Walgreens. Could you imagine?
But could we possibly get another brick and mortar strictly toy store? Not like our vintage stores in the area.
Well, let's say that that Toys R Us sells, like we were talking about, 200 of their stores to keep open that are profitable. Maybe they're so profitable they start slowly expanding, but they do it the right way, and then we get those kind of improvements and changes to retail that people say Toys R Us really needed to make.
So right now we really need to hope those 200 stores stay open. And we're going to be watching
I
it
am.
closely, of course, because this is our thing.
And Target said that they weren't going to invest in toys more.
Not?
Yeah, I think there was a stockholders meeting or something, and they said that because the Toys R Us thing came up, and they said no, like we don't plan on investing more.
There's going to be a vacuum here.
That
somebody can step up. I mean, I don't want Amazon to be the guy that steps up. Okay, I just don't.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine this? You know, Amazon, they just had that store come out.
The walk-in store.
Yeah, you walk in and then you don't like pay for anything, and then you walk out
and like automatically charges you or whatever.
Yeah, try and part swap there. All these people that like to do that or take the things out, whatever,
he broke it
with like a million cameras.
I don't know why. I don't want Amazon to be the guy. I don't. I'm like, it's like Roman Reigns in the WWE. I don't want them to be the guy. Oh, so right now, tentatively, they are talking about closing all the stores. There might be a Hail Mary pass saved from somewhere later on, but we have to wait to see. But I'm glad that you brought it up to do it like this, with to remember those fond memories of Toys R Us.
Yeah.
And they are. They really are. Even just,
I mean, we could just keep going and going
we
and going.
discussed it, and I was like, maybe 2. No, there's plenty more.
I know.
There are. There's just so many. So I'm hoping that some good news comes out this week. Look for like our Instagram and Twitter accounts, and if you want to check and see if we have any good news to share there. Of course, this episode should be out on Monday. We record on Sunday, so anything that happens then and now, be on the lookout for. So anyway, Toys R Us. All right, let's pick it up because the hunt list is up. I think I came out a lot better this week than you did, but okay. So, do you have any replacements? Anything that you picked up off of your list this week?
So, I didn't get anything from that list that I had.
Nothing this
for the
week?
first week, but I did get.
But you did some changeouts.
Oh! So we're doing our top 5?
Yes, top 5. Top
We're doing
5.
top 5. Okay.
Top 5. Top 5.
Okay. So yeah. So number 1 on my top 5 list.
You're cheating because you're doing changeouts. So I'm gonna call you on it. Go ahead.
So so you want to go from the first?
Give me everything give me what's changed first.
Well, if we go from episode 1,
Yes.
the top 5 list. I got the Thanos Walmart exclusive.
Huzzah.
So I got it.
All right. So
It's an awesome figure. So great. I got 2 of them. But
if I see it, I might get it.
it's already starting to go for a lot. You go on Amazon, it's
It could
$40.
end up like that Black Panther that's sitting in Walmart's right now. So we'll see. So okay, congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
What's replacing that on your list this week, though?
So I'm going to replace that with this doesn't come out for a while. This might be a year, but the Storm Collectibles Chun-Li in battle costume. So they showed a cardboard cutout of that figure at Toy Fair.
Toy Fair. It's a good figure.
I mean, if they wanted my money now, I'll give them my money now.
It's a sexy looking Chun-Li figure. So
I mean, I love that costume. So
all right, okay, good find then. I actually came up with 3 off my list this week, and one of them sitting on the table, which I don't think I've really gone to the toy cam this week. So let me go ahead and hit that up because there are some items on the table. I think those are all mine. You didn't bring everything you found, so and including one I wasn't expecting to get. But the Star-Lord helmet over there was something because I do cosplay, and that was coming. That was definitely one I wanted. I did pick it up from a Toys R Us. Thank you, TRU, for price matching for fries. That came off my list, and I'm replacing that with the Wave 2 Power of the Prime Deluxes, which I have not found, but I need them to complete the big Dinobot combiner that they came out with recently. So I'm on the look for at least 2 of the Dinobots from there and the Dread one. So any of the new Power of the Primes line. So what have you got next on your list?
So I'm gonna scrap the rest of my list because that rest of the list that I did in the first episode didn't come for a long time.
Okay then.
So
I'll give you a mulligan on that one.
Call me out on that. Yeah.
No, you did do some figures. I was like, he's got more patience than I do.
Okay, this is still on the list. This is the one that's still on the list. And that is, I need New Japan figures. I need figures of Kenny Omega,
That's a wish
the
list
Young
right
Bucks.
there, man.
I need figures of Marty Scurll.
They got a pop.
Okada.
Didn't they get a pop?
The pops are coming. The pops are coming. So yeah, I hope Figure Arts. It would be awesome if somehow Hasbro would do it.
I'm glad I just reused
doubt
that picture from last week I used.
I doubt WWE would ever let them.
No.
So
no.
Anyway, that'll be.
It would be messed up if they actually like call them out on a likeness thing or whatever, but hopefully not. I think Figure Arts would be the best company to make
I think
that,
so.
Let me see. Found on my list was it's on the table over here. The Alien Attack El Cid figure. It's that Optimus Prime figure, and honestly, I don't like it. It's bad. It's not my favorite.
Oh, that's that one that
It's disappointing. Look for a review
You didn't
on
like that, no.
on the YouTube channel. Hopefully this week I can get that one done. Because I stopped because I found... I'll get into it. Anyway, so that did come off of my list. The next one coming up that I'm putting back on there, Fan Toys, they make third party. They're making an RC figure. And I need that from a Masterpiece shelf. I believe they're calling it Rouge.
RC is my favorite Transformer.
It's a really great one. It'll be one of the first Fan Toys I get, so that'll be an experience. But I've seen reviews of them and I like them, so the Fans Toys Rouge is on my list for this week. What's yours, Sean?
So my next one, replacing Mezco Blade, will be Mezco Darkseid.
They showed a picture of that one, didn't they?
They showed him a while back, but
okay,
I mean...
I remember liking the Omega Beams.
Yeah, light up eyes and looks awesome.
And they're piped, so it looks like it goes through the Omega Beam, right?
Yeah, I want that figure, so I'm gonna put that one there.
God, I'm so glad. Don't bring those damn Mezcos over here. Don't do it.
We'll have a Mezco episode, don't worry.
No. The other one that came off my list on the table was Gwenpool, but did better than just Gwenpool. Found the whole wave at my local Target. So, guys, if you are looking for that wave, start looking at Targets. Had to have them go to the back for a couple, but I did get them all. So, Gwenpool is off the list, and I'm replacing her with something that's a little more niche. I don't know if everybody remembers Bucky O'Hare, but Boss Fight Studios has made 3 figures from Bucky O'Hare. I love the comic. I love the short-lived cartoon. So, they go for about $35 a piece, but I'm looking to get at least Bucky and Jenny to start off with. So that would be 2 figures.
I like the frog in that wave. The frog in that series.
I don't think they've shown a prototype for that one yet, but...
Oh, it's out there. I've seen him.
You'll have to show it to me.
All right.
But definitely the Bucky O'Hare from Boss Fight Studio. I've heard nothing but good things, so... Yeah, they're on my list for this week. So that completes everything that I've changed out. What have you got?
So, I have the Build-A-Figure Thanos for Infinity War.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very cool figure. It's like a durable one that you can play with. You can put in your pocket, carry around. For display, I really want the Fig Arts Thanos.
Ooh, I mean, those figure just teetering over there. I love the look of... For anybody because we are doing a podcast of this, an audio version, but if you're not watching that, you need to go watch the video version at Sean's look of panic and almost tipping over that Infinity Gauntlet. You need like a stand for that. They need something at the bottom.
Yeah, that would be sweet. To, like, slide it on.
Maybe something like that would help. I think it'd be easy to do something for that. Anyway, look for something from us for that. Anyway, but the Figure Arts Infinity War wave looks really good. I saw those the promo pictures for that, and I see why you want that Thanos. He's got the 2 interchangeable heads too.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
I was impressed. I have only 2 Figure Arts Marvel figures. That's a road I don't want to go down.
I'm not gonna go down that road either. I'm not gonna get a ton of them. I just want Thanos.
Okay.
I just want Thanos. Maybe the Black Order. Maybe no.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Maybe just this other one. This is the danger of some lines out there. I'd see why you want it though. The Gauntlet is much nicer looking on that one.
It looks great.
I don't know if the Gauntlet in the movie has that real shiny metallic color on that one though. But I do like the interchangeable heads for Thanos.
Yeah. just the articulation, the
Yeah.
quality of fig arts.
I can't deny the figure arts quality. So,
Yeah.
good pick, and one that I'm hoping I don't add to my list. So,
Yeah.
remainers on my list are the same. I'm just going to go through my two remaining ones
Okay.
real quick. Masterpiece Dinobot from Takara that's coming out in the summer.
Nice.
It's going to be done. I really, really like my Masterpiece figures. And the 2B figure that's coming from Square Enix. Still a little bit down the road, but a really good looking figure, and I really like
I might have to pick
the
that
Nier
up, too.
Automata game. It's one of my favorite. It was
Yeah.
one of the best games of the year. So, just blowing through the other two that have not changed on my list. Which one? Do you have any remainers?
So, yeah, because I got the new list, so.
Oh, you got a new. So you
But I'll go
actually
through
changed-
these real quick. One, should be hitting soon. Black Series, Lando. Fig Arts, Lando. Hot Toys, Lando.
I'm seeing a pattern.
Every single Donald Glover figure that they make, basic release Lando. Yeah, I want all of those.
I can't say I blame you.
Was that on my last list?
I definitely.
It
want
was
this-
on my list last time too.
Yeah,
so.
you haven't changed that one. I mean,
Yeah, I mean that's
that's a
that
gimme.
needs to happen.
Okay.
And then what wasn't on the list?
Another change out.
Snake Mountain.
Oh no, that was on the list. Just that was
That wasn't on the Lost episode list, but it wasn't on my episode 1 list.
okay.
So
I'm
MOTU Classic Snake Mountain.
You're pipe dreaming for that one, bro.
It's gonna happen. They're gonna say look, what we're gonna need to do. You need to give us access to your paycheck. We're just gonna siphon money straight out of that.
All right, Sean. I'll do this for you because we'll make this one a special one. Just because I don't think. Look, I don't wish for no collector not to get something on their list. If they make a Snake Mountain, I'll take you out for a steak dinner.
Dude, they're gonna make it. I don't want to take your money like that because
How do you know they're going to make it? Look at it.
It's
just
gonna
hoping.
happen.
It's the hope. It's the hope. No, you can't Infinity Gauntlet a Snake
Mountain
into existence. He gets the power of the Infinity Gauntlet. The first thing, Snake Mountain.
it's gonna happen. I've talked to people.
Admittedly, mine if I get the Infinity Gauntlet.
Here's-
all the Transformers.
Here's the thing, right? So,
Okay.
so
Is
Super
this gonna be a
7,
okay.
Super 7's gonna do it. I think they took over. So they took over the He-Man stuff, the Masters of the Universe classics from Mattel, and they have been working on stuff. I think they didn't show really much of anything new at Toy Fair, this past Toy Fair, and that's because they took pre-orders for like 4 different waves, and then none of them had shipped, so they didn't want to show a ton of new product, and then still have not shipped the other stuff. So they're like, that's what they were basically saying if you watch their interviews. I've heard from people close to Super 7 that it's something that they're working on.
I gotta ask you about that line.
I don't know how much I can say about that, but
well, I gotta
I've
ask
been
you.
assured
Okay.
by people, by mysterious
We'll
figures
see.
in the shadows in the He-Man community that the Snake Mountain's going to happen. I don't know when.
Overcoat wearing.
It's going to be a lot of
people telling
money,
you that's-
and I think it's probably going to be something similar to the barge, the Jabba barge.
Let me ask you something about.
You got to
just
take your money up front.
off, subject. Actually, still on subject. Now, I sold you all of my MOTU collection because Mattel was going off the rails with how they were available, and once I couldn't get Ram Man, I was like, I'm done.
I
done.
still don't have Ram Man.
I think I held on to the He-Man figure just to have one. Comparison to Super 7, though. I haven't seen any of the Super 7 figures. Have you actually held any of their figures yet?
I have not held any of the Super 7 figures. They started shipping a couple weeks ago. Well,
Where are you on that line?
scratch that because the first round they did was the whatever it's called, like the master versions, right? So they did release another Ram Man. They released a Skeletor with like all the different accessories that came. Because one of the cool things about those He-Man figures, it's like if you collect all of them, they're like, oh, here's another cape for Skeletor. Here's another head for He-Man. So all these the ultimate versions came with all the different heads and accessories. So I've heard that those are really great. I've heard that the new waves that have started shipping are really good too. There's been some issues that people definitely have with them, like
really?
The leg pegs for Tila, for the animated Tila, kind of go out a little far. She looks like she has a Kardashian butt because of that.
I'm gonna find the picture and put it in here if I can find the.
Yeah, I mean, I'll send
butt.
it to you if you can't find it. But yeah, it's a for
You'll
sure
just send it to
thing.
me.
People complain about it. I've heard people complaining about the belly button on Lodar being like on the back piece rather than the front piece.
That's a bullet hole. Then that's not a belly button. He got shot in the back.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, overall, like it's really positive, and it's
like-
awesome that they're continuing.
Are you planning on getting into that line?
So yeah, I want Lodar.
You are?
So they sell them like in waves, right? So when they do these pre-orders, you have to buy the whole thing, and like there's a lot of these
that's disappointing to hear.
figures I don't want.
No,
So
I get that.
yeah. So but I plan on buying Lodar individually at a con as soon as I get a good price on them and see them. And same thing with there's a Horde mummy coming out, and I want so many of that figure. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I do plan on getting some. It's just they're so new right now that I haven't had a chance yet. But
Okay.
definitely on my list of things to do.
I definitely don't like the wave thing. I get that. I don't, but you know.
I get it too.
But conventions
I mean-
and places like that, maybe we can get them separately. Maybe local comic shops, maybe. So okay. Well, that ends the hunt list for this week. But as always with the show, we like to do a little bit of community spotlight. So it's time to turn notifications on. So we like to focus on the best in toy photography out there on Instagram and Twitter by spotlighting a few collectors, you know, who love to just take pictures of stuff and post it online. Sean, who have you got for us this week?
All right, so get ready to turn notifications on for Gin Figs.
Gin Figs.
Gin
I like you. You've sent me
Figs.
you have sent me a couple of shots of this guy, and he's also very knowledgeable too.
Yeah, no, he is definitely very knowledgeable. He makes a lot of really awesome action figure memes about things that are going on at that time, and they're very relevant and very funny. He's also a great customizer. He'll post pictures of his collection.
Oh, that's why you like him. Okay.
He got a bunch of those Hydra 2-packs. First thing he did, he was like, I'm painting the pouches and I'm doing this, and you know, and he does backstories for all the different characters and posts them. It's awesome. But
when I'm editing this episode later, I'm probably going to go find that stuff and be like,
yeah,
ooh, I like it.
it's really cool. And you know, he also his memes are super dank. They definitely push the envelope sometimes.
And guys, if you go follow, make sure you said, "Oh, Alternate Head sent me here."
But
Give us some love out there.
He's awesome. He's awesome. I mean, when I see a notification from Gin Things pop up, I mean, even if I'm at work, even if I'm wherever, I'm like, oh, I gotta get the newest meme. So yeah, that's
Gin Figs, okay.
Gin Figs.
Mine is going to be a guy. He's not doesn't have a lot of followers, but I think he deserves more of them. Just because he seems to have a real passion for toys. But at SoCal Toys on Instagram, go check them out. I like his shots. He actually followed me back too, but I'm just including him because he is a collector. Not like a lot of followers, but I think he has a nice passion for it. So go follow him over on Instagram for some toy figures and more of the victory posts. We found something, yay.
Oh,
Those
yeah.
are the ones I like. I like that pure joy of finding the thing that you want. And then you go and tell people, I found the thing that I want. So they can ask, where did you get that thing? Because I want it too. Those are the kind of posts I like. All right, who else do you have, man?
So I have the One Cam.
The One Cam.
The One Cam. TheOnecam.
Okay.
And
you have to send me that one so I can put it into the...
I will. And I would send you stories on him too, but he turns off sharing. He turns off comments. And I think it's just because his stuff gets so blown up. So you gotta follow him and really see, like, when it comes to toy photography and creating a scene, the guy's unrivaled. You gotta watch his stories on Instagram. They are really, really cool. And his photos are epic. I mean, definitely check his stuff out. I mean, I can't understate that enough. overstate that enough. But yeah.
Okay, mine is at Troopery, TURPPER, or TRUPPERI on Instagram. Takes a lot of great photos on Instagram, and it's a lot of Star Wars related stuff, the Black Series. So those are pretty cool. I like. He does a lot of good lighting and everything. A lot more advanced than I'm used to seeing, or than I'm used to doing. So anybody that does toy photography better than me, usually I'm like, ooh, follow. Instead of just my basic, it's on my Galaxy S7. So there you go. So at Troopery, go follow him on Instagram. Who do you have? You got anybody else?
So my last one is Cloak and Dagger on
Cloak and
Instagram.
Dagger?
Yeah, Cloak and Dagger. All the A's are spelled with a number 4.
I'll have to note that.
Talking about He-Man, this guy has a He-Man collection. He's got all of them.
Surprisingly, it's called Cloak and Dagger, and it's a He-Man collection.
Yeah.
I was like,
we also got Marvel Legends.
Okay, cool.
He's got tons. I mean, he's got shelves, that lighting. He puts so much effort into his diorama. So, look, we don't got a Snake Mountain. He made a Snake Mountain playset. He made I think he's got a Fright Zone playset, too. Like, I mean, he really added some stuff to his... Castle Grayskull as well. I mean, he'll take some time and he's like, all right, I'm gonna work on a forge selling shop for one of my figures, and like he'll have all the stuff. I mean, he's so talented. He puts a lot of effort into it. He takes some really cool photos of like just a completely realized world for these figures to be in. So
cool,
definitely worth checking out. He also has another page. It's the Cloak and Dagger _dios. So he's got his main page, and then he has another page where he's showing you how to do all these dios and stuff, where it's like, hey, you can make this stuff too. So
awesome. You got anybody else from this week? Or
that's everybody.
All right, guys. Everybody. So make sure you go follow those people. Turn your notifications on for them. Good, just toy community out there.
Yeah.
All right, so moving right along, you've got some tips this week, the pro tips.
Yeah, so I'm definitely not on the level of any of those people that I mentioned and turn notifications on.
Pretty good, man.
But I have noticed...
Turn your notifications on for @Shontified. There.
I have noticed some cool things that people do. Thank you. So one is using slime, like in your photos.
Like
you can get dollar store slime. You can get Mattel slime. And then, like, let's say you have a Venom figure, you want to put a little around his mouth, or, you have a Spider-Man Black Symbiote figure, you have a Peter Parker, you want to have, like, the symbiote taking him over. You can kind of, like, take that and...
You have black colored slime?
They have black slime. I got black slime. I got green slime. I mean, there's all sorts of different ones, and you can even make your own.
I would never put stuff on my figures.
I don't know. This is aside from the point, but I mean, it's real popular, like in grade school, for grade school kids to like make their own slime with glue and like different things like that. So like, I don't know. Maybe you could find a slime dealer, and then make some custom slime. I remember I was asking a friend like, "Hey, does your niece make slime?" But it's not. I mean, there's lots of recipes and stuff, but it can when you're setting up a photo, some well placed slime.
Have you posted some pictures of the slime?
Yeah.
Okay. I may have missed them. So
I'll you can post one here.
Oh well, there. Look at that. That's right. I can't have it. So post it.
So that's one, and I got two more. Another one. Let's say you are. I saw somebody doing this. I really feel bad that I can't remember who gave me this tip, but. You can sprinkle flour over some figures, or have someone kind of shake off some flour, and then it'll look like it's snowing. So if you want to make a little Instagram video or a photo,
I questioned some photos I may have seen where it looks like snow's falling.
Yeah, so like maybe you've got some snow troopers or whatever, or I don't know. Who knows?
That's cool though.
Yeah, I mean it's awesome. Some more Lord of the Rings figures going up a mountain, some snow.
Put little footprints like they're going through something.
Yeah.
No, that actually would work. Huh?
And then the last thing, good lighting is so important.
Absolutely.
Right? So there are these little LED puck lights you can get from Costco, Faded Darkness on Instagram. Hit me to these. It's like $15. You get 5 of them. There's a remote control. They do 4 different colors. You can lower the how bright they are, and you know, like with that, I mean, you can really like, let's say you have this Human Torch figure, you can light them up so the light's coming through the translucent parts of them. You know, I mean, there's so many different things that you can do, but I mean, good lighting is so important when taking photos. So
I mean, I have the benefit of the lights here in the studio, that I have the bright LEDs, and I've even replaced the bulbs up top with yellow. So my figure photography looks great in here, and plus I do the toy review. So absolutely with good lighting. Like I use just LED 5600K lights to do my toy reviews, and it can make. And I see a lot of toy reviewers that don't put any lighting on their pictures and everything. And not saying I'm the best guy out there. I just put a toy up there and start talking about it. But lighting will absolutely make a cheap camera make a good shot. So lighting, of course. And I don't know where I was going with that. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you grabbing? You're grabbing a Lasher.
I haven't seen this figure.
Well, that kind of with that, we had pretty much one entry for deals this week. So if you're looking for deals out there, guys, go to your friggin' Toys R Us.
Do it while you can.
Visit Toys R Us. Yes, that is the other thing. In case they go away, just go get a photo of you being in a Toys R Us or something.
And look, I'm going to give you. It's going to be hard. It's gonna be hard going in that place that you love, that you've been there, you've seen.
I haven't gone in since
every week.
I have not
for the last however many years.
We went hunting.
Well, yeah, you're gonna see it, and then you see
I
all
don't
those.
want to see these vultures out there.
See them in there picking the bones, and it's gonna be hard to stay in there, but check it out while you can.
I don't want to see that. Okay.
Slasher figures, sweet.
And speaking of, well, that kind of gets us right into heads up, because did find, since the last recording, the Spider-Man Wave. I got all of the Spider-Man Wave over at Target. We've been seeing Infinity War still popping up in Walmarts and Walgreens. I haven't seen any Spider-Man Wave in any Walgreens, and the Deadpool Wave was only sighted at Target. I mean, at Toys R Us, but they now show in the stock system on BrickSeek. So they show out of stock everywhere, but possibly look for the Deadpool Wave to start showing up in your local Targets, and I certainly hope so, because that one has been a little bit scarcer than any of the waves that are
very
currently
scarce.
out. So
saw that Cable going for something like $80 last week.
Yeah, I really want that Cable, at least the X-23.
See, I'm okay like not getting that Cable right away, because the Cable that they gave us like last year was awesome.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, that is my
but
go-to Cable
90s,
in the shelf.
90s Cable, but that Domino and that X-23, like.
And I do want the new Deadpool.
And the Deathlock is awesome.
And the Deathlock.
I had him, I lost him.
But then there's Paladin, who I don't really care anything about. I don't care.
He would be cool to army build, man.
All right, whatever.
You buy 5 or 6, you can like maybe take the heads
Nobody's
off.
going to know who he is anyway, so there you go.
Huh?
Nobody's going to know.
I know, right?
Who the hell's Paladin?
I saw an issue at Half Price Books with him on it the other day, but anyway.
Well, la-di-da.
Just like Scourge. He's going to be Scourge 2018. Army building
Okay. Okay, fine. I forget which part he comes with. There'll be a lot of people with excess Sasquatch heads. So,
right.
I mean, Sasquatch Build-A-Figure, fine, I guess. The old Marvel Legends Sasquatch is still pretty good to me, so the Toy Biz one. But, there's what's popping up as far as Marvel Legends. Look, if you're a Transformers collector like me, look for the new Power of the Primes Wave popping up there as well. I've not seen it really anywhere else. Well, that and Walmart. The Voyagers are pretty much out there, but the Deluxes still escape me. They vex me. So, anyway, I think that's pretty much everything we've got for episode 2 of Alternate Heads. Guys, if you're watching this, please give us a like, subscribe to the channel. Every 2 weeks we will have episodes up. Like I said, sorry we didn't have one up last week, but it worked out for the best.
Hey, and don't forget to stop and smell the plastic.
Stop and smell the plastic. Before we do that, you can follow me at Jason the X on Instagram and Twitter. And Sean, where can they find you?
Shantified.
At Shantified. It'll all be there in the buttons and stuff and graphics on screen. Go follow him there for all of his toy photography. And any finds that we get, we post them usually with a woo caption or something on there. So do that. But like you said, Sean, always.
Do it again.
Do it again. Do it again. It's going to be better.
Stop and smell the plastic.
We'll catch you guys next 2 weeks. Later.